It was late October, and I was hauling a load from Pennsylvania to Texas. Around midnight in West Virginia, I saw him, a lone figure on the shoulder of Route 29. He wasn't moving, just standing there, his face stretched unnaturally. I didn't stop. Truckers don't pick up hitchhikers. But a few miles later, he was there again. Same posture, same eerie stillness. No way he could have gotten ahead of me. I sped up, but 20 miles later, he was closer to the road, grinning unnaturally. Then I heard it, a thud on my trailer. My CB radio crackled with heavy, raspy breathing. When I finally stopped at a truck stop, there were no marks on my trailer, but scrawled on my windshield in black tar were the words, "I'm not done yet." Years ago, I was driving through Utah with a small convoy of truckers. One of them, Rick, mentioned a ghost convoy, rusted rigs that appeared and disappeared. We laughed it off until we saw them. 4 ancient trucks, their tail lights dim, trailers swaying unnaturally. I got closer, and on the back of one trailer, clawed into the metal, were the words, "Help us." The radio cut out, replaced by a gurgling sound. My truck sputtered, and the convoy vanished. Rick's voice came through, shaky. "We don't talk about this again." We never did. 10 years ago, I took a detour through Kentucky to avoid a wreck. On a dark, tree-lined road, I saw a man standing in the ditch, facing away. His body jerked unnaturally, limbs twitching at odd angles. I sped up, but miles later, I saw more of them, figures in the ditches, all stiff and jerking. I didn't stop until I reached the main road. My hands were shaking. I don't know what they were, and I don't want to. A buddy of mine, Jake, was driving through Nevada when he took a break at a rest stop. When he got back on the road, it was different. Curves and dips that shouldn't be there, rusted blank signs. His CB radio was dead. Then he saw headlights behind him, a battered truck with tinted windows. It gained on him no matter how fast he drove. Suddenly, it vanished. The road returned to normal, and his radio crackled back to life. Jake swears he drove down a road that doesn't exist. One night in Montana, I parked at a rest stop. Around 3 a.m., I heard rustling in my sleeper. I yanked the curtain open. Nothing. But on the inside of the curtain were 4 long claw marks. I didn't sleep the rest of the night. Driving through South Dakota on Interstate 90, I saw a woman in a white dress standing on the side of the road. She was barefoot, her hair covering her face. As I passed, she looked up. Her eyes were completely black. I sped up, but in my mirror, she was standing in the middle of the road behind me. My radio crackled. You should have stopped. A friend, Bill, once pulled into an old truck stop in New Mexico. The place felt wrong. Heavy air, pale people moving stiffly. His coffee was ice cold, and the clock on the wall wasn't moving. He left quickly, but when he turned back, the truck stop was gone, just an empty lot. His money was still lying in the dirt where the counter had been. Driving through Oregon on a foggy night, I saw a tall, thin figure on the shoulder. Its arms were too long, its head tilted. It started moving toward the road. I floored it, and as I passed, I heard nails scraping against metal. At the next truck stop, I found 4 deep scratches down the side of my trailer. At a rest stop in Alabama, I heard manic laughter. A man stood in the parking lot, barefoot and dirty. He stopped laughing when he saw me, his head snapping toward me with a too wide grin. He didn't move, just stared at me for hours. When I woke up the next morning, my driver's side mirror had been adjusted. Someone had been watching me. Truckers see things on the road that most people never will. Sometimes it's exhaustion, tricks of the mind. But sometimes the things we see are real. There are places on the highway where you're not alone, and sometimes the things riding with you aren't human. Keep your doors locked, because out there in the dark, something might be watching.